All right, let's give this another shot. Had a little issues with my microphone, so I'm going live again. So the first thing I need is for someone to come in and comment and let me know if they can hear me. Hello, hello. Check, check, check. Okay, I think I'm getting an audio signal here now. That's awesome. So anyway, let's give this another try. I'm Bob Baker. Welcome to a live Q&A. It's Saturday morning where I am in St. Louis, Missouri. I apologize to those of you. Oh, so everything's good now, right? You can hear me? So I got two people saying yes. So sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened. All right, I got thumbs up there. Fantastic. So I'm going to do a little bit something different in this live broadcast. In previous ones that I've done, I at least had some kind of an agenda. I had some, points that I wanted to make in addition to interacting live. But in this, there's no agenda. I'm going to be answering questions in real time. And so I'll give you some of those ground rules pretty shortly here. I can see a lot of people are already chiming in with the comments. And so the first thing, before you really start going crazy posting questions, is just let me know where you're watching from. Just say hi, leave a comment if you can figure out how to do that on your computer or your phone. Just let me know where you're watching from. I'll acknowledge some people, and then I'll kind of give you an overview of the Q&A, and then we'll kind of jump into it. So I just want to acknowledge, and I'm going to butcher some name pronunciations here, but I got non-dumiso, perhaps. Denkin 27. We got Tina here. Marianne Brown is with us. Is it Wilma? Grace? Cool. Got Sunny Source. Mad Dog. I see that name pop up a lot. We got Elizabeth, Shant. Good day to you too. Got Abdu. From South Africa. That's fabulous. And is it Shant or Shant? Shant from Massachusetts. Tina from Central Florida. And maybe that's Wilma, probably instead of not Wilma. I'm guessing from is it Austell, Georgia? Sunny is from Rosedale, New York. Shirley says hi from Texas. Rosalie from Indiana. Queen Silent Rebel. There's an interesting name. North Carolina. And then Sandra's from California. Sounds like Wilma spelled with a Y. Okay, got it. Yeah, that's a unique spelling. That's pretty awesome. So keep leaving comments, letting me know where you're from. Is it Bahati, perhaps, from Chicago? So we got a lot of people from the States, such as and except for our friend from South Africa. I'm sure there are other countries here too. Mad Dog says GMBB, which I'm sure means Good Morning Bob Baker. There's some shorthand for you. Awesome. So this is a message that I just sent this out to my email list, and hopefully some people will see it in time to be here live with us. Mad Dog's at JFK Airport. I'm glad you were tuning in while you travel. Oh, Teresa's here from Maryland. Oh, Savitha, perhaps from India. That's fantastic. What time is it in India? Is it? Yeah, you're in the future. I'm pretty sure here. Maybe later on Saturday. From Algeria, Sarah. North Africa. So happy to see you. You really radiate good energy. Oh, that's so awesome. I appreciate that. So good. I'm glad we got the mic working. Okay, cool. I see one of the first questions. So here's the deal. So the purpose of this call is just like have a fun, casual Q&A. I'm using the words fun and casual. That doesn't mean you can't ask me a serious topic, but let's have a little bit of fun with this too. Let's have a wide-ranging array of things. And I'm going to go through viewer comments in real time and answer as many questions as I can. I'm happy to address just about any topic, especially if it's something I feel like I have at least some insight on, but it will help to ask specific questions that I can answer briefly. Okay, so generic, non-specific questions are going to be a little tougher for me. So if you can make them specific, that would be great. Yes, they can be about affirmations and positive thinking. After all, that's what this channel is about. And that's probably why you know me and why you're here, is because you listen to my affirmations or guided meditations. They can certainly be about that. But feel free to ask me about many other things that are of interest that I have personal experience with, like music, art, self-employment, improv comedy, book publishing, marketing, and self-promotion, which is something I've written about and taught for many years. These are all things that I can speak to. And again, I won't be able to go in depth answers here in this particular format, but maybe I can give you a little bit of insight. But also, if you're up for it, ask me some fun things about my personal life and my personal interests. Is there anything you want to know about me outside of the work that I do here on YouTube? So so there's kind of where we are. So Mr. Spector says, how long have you been doing this from Texas? So I assume that you're from Texas because I'm in St. Louis, Missouri. So how long have you been doing this? This is a little, I'm not sure what this is. Maybe you could, YouTube. So I'm just going to say, I've been on YouTube since 2006. Yeah, I've been kind of embracing social media pretty much all along. As things developed I've been on the internet. I've had email since 1995 and pretty much embraced new technologies and sites, and started blogging in 2004, podcasting in 2005. I got on YouTube in 2006. So I've been on YouTube for almost 14 years. But I didn't really start doing the affirmations and guided meditations until I started playing with it about 3 years ago. So, but if this meant something else, then let me know that. You're welcome. It's 1640 in South Africa, which means 12 plus 4. It's like 4. Okay, 4 in the afternoon, 4:40 in the afternoon. Janine says she listens to my videos every day. I appreciate that. So, and Bahati asks, what made you venture into this line of work? Again, the word this, again, you could be specific. This line, I assume that you mean the affirmation videos. I'm just making assumptions here. So the more specifics, I'll be able to address your questions. So actually, I just did an interview the other day where I answered this question. So I've been a kind of a student of personal development for many years. I'm actually in high school. My junior year of high school, a friend loaned me a book called Your Erroneous Zones, which was the first popular mainstream or whatever book by an author named Wayne Dyer. You may be familiar with him. I love Wayne Dyer. He passed away a couple of years ago at the age of 75. But it was the first self-help book that I read where I realized it was eye-opening to me, because at that point, like a lot of teenagers, I was kind of filled with lack of confidence, lack of self-worth. I had all these, voices in my head telling me I wasn't good enough, like many of us do when we're growing up. And I just thought I was a victim of those things just happened to me. That's who I was. And this book opened my mind to, oh wow, I can actually choose my thoughts. I choose my thoughts, that will affect then the emotions that I feel, and that will actually maybe affect the actions that I take in the world and the results that I get in my life. And it was just really life changing. And I've been a student of personal development since then, reading tons of books, workshops, and just soaking up all that I could. And so when I started publishing my own books, even though they were about music marketing and inspiring artists, there was always this undercurrent of positive thinking. And I continued to listen. I've realized that the benefits of self-talk for many years, and affirmations. And so I was using them in my personal life off and on, and meditating. And when I sought these things out on YouTube, quite often I wasn't really resonating with the voice of the person or their style or the background music. And so it was one of those things where I said, I bet you I can create some stuff. That I started creating the types of audio and types of recordings that I was seeking and couldn't find, just to see if other people would resonate with it. And they did. And thank you all for listening to it. The numbers kind of speak to the success of this. Can't hear you, Bob, but you're looking good. Okay, let me ask, is my sound going out again? Could somebody, sorry, no reason for me to stay here. I can't hear. So is it Arnie or Per Arnie said he can't hear me? Can anyone else? Okay, so but everyone else can hear me? Just want to confirm. Sunny says we hear you Just let me see another couple of people. I can hear you as well. Okay, cool. So maybe it's just his, I was worried that my mic went out. Let me go back and look to see where I left off. How do I attach positive energy? I'm not really, or attract maybe you meant. Well, so I'm assuming you mean attract instead of attach. How do you attract positive energy? It's really like, it's like the Gandhi quote, the famous Gandhi quote is, be the change you want to see in the world. When you say attract it, you're almost implying that it's out there and you got to bring it to you. I prefer to say that it already exists inside of me, and I just have to remove the things that are holding that positive energy back and release it. So it's a different way of looking at it. So instead of saying, how can I attract positive energy, which implies that you don't have it and that you have to go out there outside of yourself and get it, reverse that and imagine that it already exists within you and you just have to let it out and express it. Try that and see if that works for you. I have a question. Can you play music to channel sexual energy for higher purposes in life? Music to listen during the night, I think. Oh, that's an interesting question. So I have been a musician for many years, and I started off playing like rock and roll. I mean, I was weaned on and learned early on back in the 70s when I was learning to play the guitar, and I started playing in bands. I would listen to Led Zeppelin and the classic rock bands. So I was played rock, and then I played alternative rock. I've played original music. Over the last 15 years, though, I've been mostly writing like positive, uplifting music. I collaborate with my girlfriend. Her name is Pookie. We've been together for about 14 years. And that's been my main outlet. So most of my music has a positive vibe in the past decade or so. But I realized early on that music has a vibration to it. And so certainly rock music is definitely can be a lot of sexual energy in that. Songs about, the physical attraction and partying and meeting, love songs, certainly. And so there's music for all purposes. And so I guess it's up to the individual. There's certainly types of music that kind of have that, R&B has that kind of sexy feel to it. So I think I would say, but I think you also, there's music that can bring out or activate a sexual energy, but I think you're saying using that for a higher purpose in life. That's not an area I haven't spoke about that very much. I know there are people out there that talk about using, and I don't know where to direct you right now, but there, maybe just Google it. But there are people that have taking your, and maybe is it Tantra maybe that does that, where you take a sexual energy and put that into other areas of your life. That might be, but I don't have any specific things to listen to, but YouTube is a great source. Just put sexy music or some of that like house or lounge or kind of, techno kind of music has that vibe, but find something that it feels like it brings it out in you and listen to it often. How did you get started? So again, Queen Silent Rebel asked that again, get started in what? So so the thing is about me, I'm kind of a complicated, a multifaceted, creative person. So I'm a musician, I'm a writer, I do acting and improv comedy, I do some visual art, I've published many books over the years, I've taught marketing, been inspiring creative people for many years, and then but in recent years, I've focused on the this affirmation thing here on YouTube has been just taking center stage. So depending on what you mean getting started, I will say this, that two of my earliest interests were music and the written word, probably the written word first. We're talking about grade school, where I would just write little stories outside of schoolwork, share them with my friends. And then the word got around that I would write these little silly stories. And when my school friends learned that I'd written a new one, they'd be interested in reading them, and kind of a light bulb went off in my young mind that, wow, somebody is actually interested in reading something that I created just out of my imagination. It started as a thought, and then I wrote it out in a tangible form, and then so that I could communicate that story to other people. And it was like and it's funny, I guess it's no surprise that I became an author, and I've blogger, and I've used my words and my voice to communicate with people ever since then. Also, in like middle school, I started learning to play the guitar and playing music and playing bands. I combined those two things, writing and music. And years ago, like 30 years ago, I started publishing a newspaper or magazine that covered the local music scene in my hometown of St. Louis, Missouri. So I became a journalist of my own making. And then that led to eventually publishing books, getting online, spreading my message. So that's a real short story about how I got started in some of those areas. What is your favorite color? There's actually some of it in the background. Blue. I love those like little specific personal questions. Yeah, for some reason, blue it's always resonated with me. So I think that's a blue wall behind me. Those are some of the unfinished paintings behind me. That you can see there's a blue background there. There's a couple that I have to finish that one. And yeah, so actually I used to have more of it up but that's some of my visual arts. I do acrylic painting too, very part-time. I actually haven't touched a brush in a while. But that's Amy Winehouse. I do a lot of celebrity portraits. And that's just kind of an abstract jazz, keyboard player that I did. Obviously a musical theme there, but I just kind of put them in the background to hide some of the mess in my home office, to be honest. Yes, sir. I mean, the type of work. Okay. I go, what pets do you have? Actually, so I live with my girlfriend that I mentioned earlier. And we do not have any pets. I had a pet dog named Rex when I was a kid that I loved. But I really have not had any pets since then. My daughter, who is 23 now, she always wanted a dog, but we just I knew there was going to be one of those deals where I would end up having to take care of it, and we travel a lot, and so I resisted getting a dog. But now that she's living on her own, she has her own dog. She loves animals, and she works at an animal shelter, as a matter of fact. So she has a love for animals, but no pets. But I love dogs. I'm allergic to cats, so I'm not real much of a cat guy. I'm more of a dog person.